A big story. Ladies and gentlemen, post-independence, even our constitution makers had a problem of selecting a national language, a language which on principle could unite a country where over 1,600 languages and dialects are spoken. There's no one language in this country, and rightly so, because India's speciality lies in its diversity. Yet there's always a concern about a potential trigger. A trigger in the form of a politician who often use language as a tool for political gains, not just as a tool to restore culture, not just as a tool to communicate. It was started by the Union Home Minister in 2022, where he promised Hindi as a linked language. Amit Shah then said that Hindi should be accepted as an alternative to English. Cut to 2024, the language debate has once again been reignited, this time by Junior Stalin, the Deputy Chief Minister, who has now taken it from political spheres to literally the people's bedroom. Yes, Tamil Nadu's Deputy Chief Minister, Udhayanidhi Stalin, has asked the people of the state to keep Tamil names for their children and resist Hindi imposition, and attempts to put Hindi imposition by the BJP-led Centre. He's also claimed that the BJP-led government is trying to impose Hindi via the new education policy and has vowed to protect the linguistic identity of the state. Listen in.
இன்னொரு வேண்டுகோள், உங்களுக்கு பிறக்கின்ற குழந்தைக்கு ஆண் பிள்ளையாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, பெண் பிள்ளையாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, அழகான ஒரு தமிழ் பெயரை சூட்ட வேண்டும் என்று நான் உங்கள் சார்பாக மனமக்களுக்கு கேட்டுக்கொள்கின்றேன். ஏன்னா இன்னைக்கு பல பேர் எப்படியாவது தமிழ்நாட்டுக்குள்ள இந்தியை எப்படியாவது தெரிஞ்சிடலாம்னு பல்வேறு வழிகளில் முயற்சிக்கிறாங்க. திமுகவுடைய கடைசி தொண்டன் உள்ளவரை, தமிழன் கடைசி தமிழன் இருக்கின்றவரை, இங்கே தமிழையும் தமிழ்நாட்டையும் திராவிடத்தையும் யாராலும் எதுவும் தொட்டுக்கூட பார்க்க முடியாது, எதுவும் செய்ய முடியாது என்பது.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there are a number of questions that emerge at this point. Number one, if Hindi imposition is indeed a thing, are we taking it to a point of unnecessary redundance by bringing in personal matters of families? Ultimately, what one chooses to give the names to one's children that's one's choice. And if Tamil names being given to Tamil children is the way to ensure Tamil imposition, why does the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister himself get named after a foreign icon? Those are questions which I would like to put across to my guest joining me in the studio at this point on the show. G.S. Prasant, spokesperson of the BJP, Salem Dharanidharan, spokesperson of the DMK, Kobai Satyan, spokesperson of the AIDMK, and Dr. Narayan Lakshman, senior journalist. Thank you all, gentlemen, for joining me on the show. Mr. Dharanidharan, let me begin with you. Could you explain what Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin meant when he said that Tamil parents should give beautiful Tamil names? In fact, he said Tamil newlyweds should give beautiful Tamil names to their children. How is this? One would assume that Tamil parents would automatically give Tamil names anyway to the children. And how is this supposed to counter Hindi imposition? Is the Deputy Chief Minister suggesting that there is a threat that now children in Tamil Nadu will start having Hindi names?
Sir, firstly and foremost, I think it's very easy to, out of a 20-minute speech, you can just take some 10 seconds and then completely paint a new picture. It's possible, and that's been done by media wonderfully. But having said that, I would like to translate even that 10 seconds. He has said, I would request you to consider to have Tamil name for your children. That's about it. Matter instead. Nothing more to be read on it, nothing less to be read on it. Because he says, request to consider. You should have, you must have. Did he say anything like that? You must, you should? No. Basically, the whole idea was, he wanted to emphasize on Hindi imposition. And again, to underline how the governor a few days back had behaved. Firstly, there was no Dravidian term was omitted in the Tamil Taiwan. Fine, it could have been an oversight. But on an event in which governor is taking place, how could there have been no rehearsal and oversight? Okay, fine, there was an oversight. At least the governor, when he started this speech, could have mentioned that, oh, you have not, the entire Tamil Taiwan was not sung. Or it could have maybe, even before it became a backlash, you could have mentioned. But on the contrary, what did the gentleman do? He went to the stage and used as a platform to say that Dravidian parties have ruined Tamil Nadu. Dravidian parties have made Tamil Nadu isolated from rest of India. the people want to learn Hindi here, they're being stopped. But the point is, all this are lies. Where is Hindi being stopped in Tamil Nadu? All schools have been having Hindi, German, French, some schools Telugu, Malayalam as an optional language. People are can choose whichever language they want. In fact, the data says Tamil Nadu has at least 2.5 lakh people passing Hindi exam each year, highest in South India. Right, so that is a wrong fact. What Tamil Nadu or DMK government has been against, and we have vociferously voiced this, Hindi imposition. We want all languages, Indian languages, to be treated equal because we don't have a national language, and all languages are the same. So one language should not be given stepmotherly treatment, or one language shouldn't be given supreme importance. So then the next question came, why Hindi Divas in Tamil Nadu? If you're having Hindi Divas in Tamil Nadu, then you should have Tamil Nadu Divas in Uttar Pradesh, Malayalam Divas in Madhya Pradesh, right? So because that's when you give equal importance to all language. And again, this governor goes and says Tamil Nadu is isolated from the rest of India. How? Tamil Nadu receives, point number one, highest number of migrants from the country. Each year we receive about 1 million people coming into the state. Highest migrant inflow. Tamil Nadu in Tamil we say Vandare Wala Kimbubi. People of all walks of life are welcome here, right? But that's again contrary. In fact, we know a year back, 2 years back, fake migrant crisis was tried to be created in Tamil Nadu, and that was started by BJP's IT wing in Bihar. In fact, they were arrested. We know all this. The team from Bihar came, but the migrant workers in Tamil Nadu from Bihar said we are treated very well here. Right? These are the issues, and right. So this is what you're trying to do. But again, and I'll tell you one more thing. Ex-servicemen. Tamil Nadu has one of the highest ex-servicemen in the country. And even current serving armed military officers, Tamil Nadu ranks number 4 in the number of, in fact, UP is number 1, but that's because of population size. But if you look at per 100,000, I think Tamil Nadu is the top 1 or 2 in number top 3, right? So that doesn't mean that if Tamil Nadu we are refusing to speak Hindi, we are anti-Indian. That's not true. The concept of India is pluralism, embracing different languages, different culture, right, and different walks of life is India, and we define that. We serve as an example. It's only the BJP that is alienating the country, right, or trying to
Let me then get the BJP spokesperson
not understanding the ethos of what India is, what Hinduism is, right?
Okay, then let me just get the BJP spokesperson to respond to the charges which Mr. Dharanidharan put out.
See, even the Hinduism as a religion.
No, one second, Mr. Dharanidharan, we have got your point. Mr. Dharanidharan, we have got your point. We have got your point.
Can I speak for more 10 seconds?
Go on. Please take 10 seconds. Please finish your point.
No, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. I will example. I'll tell a diabolism of the BJP party. In Uttar Pradesh, if you carry beef meat, on the pretext people are being lynched. But in Goa, same BJP chief minister is going and participating in beef festival. That's how they want to divide and rule.
Okay, Mr. Dharanidharan, we don't have all day. Let's stick to the topic at hand. I'm not discounting the points you're mentioning at this point, but let's focus on the issue of language and let's not make it a political fight over every issue which divides the BJP and the DMK. G.S. Prashant, spokesperson of the BJP, the accusation coming in from the DMK spokesperson is that it's the BJP which has been time and again caught trying to subtly or implicitly trying to impose Hindi and trying to make Hindi the link language, as Amit Shah ji had once stated in 2022. From the governor's comments to the controversy of the Tamil song omitting certain words to the imposition of a Hindi Divas here, these are all indicators which show that somehow the central government is intent on somehow making Hindi more mainstream in Tamil Nadu at the cost of Tamil language, which is where the problem comes in.
Firstly, DMK has to understand Tamil is one of the classical languages and recognized way back in 2005. And I think the DMK people also should understand Hindi has not been accorded a classical language status. So therefore, there is no question of imposition of Hindi over others. And even in the NEP program, teaching in mother tongue is encouraged, wherein students will be taught in their mother tongue. So therefore, at no point in time, it is leading to Hindi imposition. The fact that DMK is trying to divide the people based on language now, and they're now trying to bring in linguistic identity in the armed forces. When he's trying to say that more Tamilians are there, no. Every person who gets into the army, navy or air force is a Indian. He will keep his linguistic identity at home and he will fight for the great nation, Bharat, and he will not fight as a Tamil Nadu soldier or a Karnataka soldier or a UP soldier. Therefore, DMK has to first get its basics right, and trying to now talk about UP having more people. It is not about how many people. Each soldier is equally important in guarding the
Mr.
nation.
Prashant, that
And
was a very
the
minor
second
point here.
is,
Please focus on the meat of what Mr. Dharanidharan pointed out, which is about about the controversy that happened over the Tamil language recently, the comments made by the Tamil Nadu governor, the imposition of Hindi Divas in Tamil Nadu. Surely these are measures which could have been avoided at this point. Do they not indicate that there is some effort to try and prop up Hindi as some sort of an existence in Tamil Nadu artificially?
no, there is nothing called imposition of Hindi at all, because right from 1967-68, when the anti-Hindi agitations happened in Madurai, which was at the fulcrum of the agitation then, at no point in time that Hindi has been imposed and forced on people living in Tamil Nadu. Definitely not. It is by choice. People can learn Hindi as an additional language. Even take the CBSE or IC, wherever, at no point in time preference is being given to Hindi or other languages, and each of the languages continue to be scheduled languages. And we are not advocating Hindi to be at the forefront, because India's beauty lies in the diversity and in all the languages, and more so when you're trying to invoke this territorial pitch or linguistic pitch, we must remember that there is territorial nationalism. We respect and love our mother tongue, and at the same time, when we unite as a nation, we will always look at Bharat as a whole and not to divide, like how Udhayanidhi Stalin wants to eradicate Sanatan Dharma and probably have a different nation called South India. This is in the mindset of the DMK. They at one point in time wanted to divide Tamil Nadu state itself into two, and the DMK brothers wanted to share the reins, which did not happen, fortunately for the people of Tamil Nadu. Now, probably they are wanting to have different ideas. Their idea of DMK is to break the nation and trying to invoke these regional issues and pit.
Okay, now let me.
Indian
We've heard
against
from the DMK,
which
we've
is
heard from the
not
BJP. Let
the
me
right
get in the
spirit in the
AIDMK
country.
here at this point. We have Mr. Kovai Satyan, spokesperson of the AIDMK, is joining us at this point. Mr. Satyan,
No, sir.
I have a very different question at this point before I get Mr. No, one second, sir. We have to let others also speak. I'll give you time to counter that. Mr. Kovai Satyan, my question is, language at the end of the day is a method of communication. And no matter how much you impose a language or how much you try to promote a language, human nature will ensure that when necessity arises, people will automatically understand and try and communicate in the language if it helps them communicate. Everyone who goes abroad eventually learns the language, whether it be English or some other country. Similarly, I was in Chennai for 4 years. I started understanding a rudimentary or speaking Tamil in order to communicate, in order to make my life easier. Similarly, anyone who comes from Tamil Nadu to the north will also go through the same process. Why is there an artificial interest of politicians to try and either promote a language or safeguard a language? At the end of the day, languages like species have been known to go extinct, have been known to evolve, have been known to adapt here. Let nature take its course.
Yeah, you have narrated one side of the story. So let's be clear. What Congress, while they were at the center, and BJP at the center, did try and test their luck with imposing Hindi in Tamil Nadu, and this fact cannot be negated. Let me tell you, all these central government-run agencies, if any commoner walks into those offices, be it post office or banks, they were faced by people who work there who doesn't know the local language, that is Tamil. That was the issue. That's where it all started. And the communications per se from those offices were in Hindi. This is what entering through a state through a back door and imposing the language. As you say, people who go to another place will eventually learn the language, but that has not happened in Tamil Nadu for the last 6.5 decades in central government run offices. And there were blatant efforts to impose Hindi, which was opposed by political parties like AIDMK and DMK. But there is a staunch difference between the other parties, particularly AIDMK, DMK, in opposing Hindi in Tamil Nadu. Why? Because what is expected is any political leader will walk the talk. But if there is an exception in India, then it is for MK Stalin, now his son Udhayanidhi and DMK. They use language and they use state rise for divisive politics, and they used to do it as a vote bank politics. I'll give you a small example. The number of business houses run by Mr. Udhayanidhi or his family associates, none of them carry a Tamil name. It's all there in English. Forget about naming your own children. That's very close to the parents' heart. But you are in the business world wherein you have put in money, crores of money, and running a business. A Red Giant movie is the business run by Mr. Udhayanidhi and his associates in the movie world. Does Red Giant sounds Tamil to you or to your
Yeah.
audience? Let me ask you another question. The next moment they'll say, no, central government has not allocated any funds for the classical Tamil, wherein they have allotted X number of funds for Sanskrit. But you know what is the beauty of the DMK government is? In the last 3 years of their government, 40 months, they have borrowed 3.7 lakh crores. So allocating a 500 crore or 1,000 crore for Tamil and development of Tamil, is it in the hands of MK Stalin, who is the chief minister, or it should come from the direction of the BJP? Can Mr. Salem Dharanidharan say how many crores were allocated for the development of Tamil and Tamil culture for the last 3 years, having they borrowed 3,70,000 crores in the last 3 years? The answer is zero. They would say we have allocated 50 crores, 60, 80. It's not in hundreds or thousands. If we want to really promote the language. The schools in Delhi where Tamil students are there are no Tamil teachers to teach them. MK Stalin all the way went to Delhi, accompanied by Arvind Kejriwal, who was then chief minister, visited those schools, model schools. But there were no Tamil teachers to teach Tamil. What did MK Stalin do for the last 2 years? Did they appoint any Tamil teachers?
Okay, so you've put, Mr. Satyan, you've put a lot of very important points, and
what have we done in the
okay,
last
so you have
3
said
years
essentially that the
to
DMK
take
government
Tamil to the
uses
next level?
Tamil pride as an emotive issue to try and garner up votes and incite sentiments and build
Last 10 seconds.
center
10
versus state
seconds.
narrative. But when it actually comes
10
to
seconds.
promoting Tamil, they have been
10
found
seconds.
wanting here. Let me get Salem
10 seconds.
Dharanidharan on
No,
it, and
10
after that
seconds.
I'll go to Dr. Narayan Lakshman, who's been waiting quite.
10 seconds.
spoken
10
sufficient.
seconds.
Yes,
No,
10
I have
seconds,
to-
please, and then let's complete.
No, you don't say it. 10 seconds. All
Let him
these
complete,
efforts-
Mr. Dharanidharan, then I'll come to you.
This, I tell you what, repeated failure by MK Stalin and DMK to put Stalin, Udhayanidhi's son, as a mass leader have failed, including the recent reign efforts that have been taken. Repeated efforts to put him as a mass leader have miserably failed. Now they are trying to
Okay. No, I want to keep it on facts. I want to keep it on charge versus counter charge, not on rhetoric. Mr. Dharanidharan, please answer those charges here. And I have an important question. I think a very important takeaway from what Mr. Kovai Satyan is saying is that if you're opposing Hindi because you say that it should not become like a threat to Hindi, hasn't English, as a threat to Tamil, hasn't English already done that? And the irony from Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin saying that appealing to newlyweds to name the kids after Tamil names is the fact that both him and his father have been named after a Russian figure and even Mr. Stalin. So, if isn't opposition to Hindi, but acceptance of English, even if it comes at the cost of Tamil, a bit questionable?
No, see, firstly and foremost, I'd like to rebut Kovai Satyan, but I'll take 2 seconds to say only one line. The DMK's philosophy or our ideology has been that Tamil Nadu within Tamil Nadu, right? Sorry, Tamil within Tamil Nadu, and English to communicate to the outside world. We encourage people in Karnataka to speak Kannada in their own state and English to communicate with the others. Uttar Pradesh, let them speak Hindi, let them promote Hindi within their state. To communicate with us, let them use English. That's been our philosophy. But he funnily spoke about the difference between ADMK and DMK, and as if ADMK is an example party for the whole of the world to emulate. But the funny fact is that we all know late Amma was in cahoots with Sasikala. We all know that. And if she was alive, she would have been convicted. She was the first sitting chief minister to be arrested. Let me list out Sasikala's companies. Zaz Cinemas, Fancy Steel, Ivory Property, Cottage Field Cottages, Midas, Curio Auto Work, and I can read out the list of the companies which are run by her, which was presented, a World Rock, another company. So these were the companies that are listed out by the prosecutors when she was convicted, right? So to come and pinpoint at some of her names, which is, I think, very unfortunate. And secondly, some of the remarks were very personal. I never went in anything personal. And secondly and foremost, from 2017 to 2022, ADMK was in partnership with BJP. What did they do? When they were in partnership was when Amit Shah came and said the embassies of India, high commissions rather, should work in Hindi. That's when Hindi imposition was happening at its worst. What were they saying? Did they say that we will leave the alliance? No. In fact, I'll tell you how Hindi imposition is happening. Recently, a year back, one of the food corporations in India wrote to the Tamil Nadu Oven department saying dahi, right? Dahi should be, curd should be called as dahi and not curd or not tahir, which is a problem. Dahi is a Hindi word. And secondly, Kendra Vidyalaya schools, right, as per
See, that's exactly my point, Mr. Dharanidharan. Languages are like living organisms. They cannot be bound within cages here. You say that it's fine for the Tamil to be promoted within Tamil Nadu and encourage English for the rest of the world. By that same logic, one would say that, it doesn't matter whether Hindi is the national language or not. In terms of brute numbers, Hindi is spoken by a majority of the people in the country. So why not have Tamil in Tamil Nadu, Hindi for the rest of the country, and then have English for the rest of the world? Because at the end of the day, you're forced to learn English because you need to communicate. Why not learn Hindi? Because you're forced to communicate with the rest of the country as well.
Which means to say that in Uttar Pradesh you learn only Hindi, and in Tamil Nadu we will learn Tamil, Hindi and English.
Fair enough. No, I agree. I completely agree with you at this point. At the end of the day, the northern states have the lowest population of bilingual people at this point. Definitely. I completely agree. People in the north also should learn southern states. Let me bring in Dr. Narayan Lakshman at this point. He's been waiting quite patiently at this point. Dr. Lakshman, I'll let you have the last word because I need to move on at this point here. Dr. Lakshman, 1 second. 1 second. No, Mr. I've given you enough time, sir. I agree with your point. I'm telling you that. Dr. Lakshman, I'll let you have the last say. The point is that language becomes a form of a political tool. Language has reached a point also where you're telling first, you're appealing, you should have more children to try and counter a demographic divide, or then you're appealing to them to have Tamil names to ensure Hindi imposition here. Do language politics really work? They worked at a time in the 1960s, but at a time in Tamil Nadu where the people of Tamil Nadu realizing that, based on where you work, which sector you work, which part of the country or which part of the world you work, you will automatically start understanding language here. In terms of understanding films, in terms of understanding content here. Are language politics by design a very outdated political concept, Mr. Lakshman?
I don't think so, Ritangshu, because language politics itself has changed in definition. As you correctly said, in the 1960s and even before that, leading up to the social movement, the Dravidian movement of 1967, from when it took over, it had a far more radical form, and language, along with everything from eating habits, clothing, caste structure, everything was part of a movement, and there was a symbol of a movement which had great social salience at that point, because there were, leading from the British colonial times, there were seen to be injustices within the administrative structure of the government that prioritized some castes over others. And that is why this movement actually succeeded to remain in power for the last 50 years, best part of a half century. Now, the question is, how has that form changed over the last 50 years? The Dravidian movement itself has become much more accommodating. It has dropped its demands for secession, which was actually its most radical form in the early years. And it has, in fact, the leaders of the movement over the years have realized that you have to deliver on the basics of bread and butter. You have to deliver economic growth. You have to allow industries to flourish, and you have to bring jobs. If the ideological part is to have any steam, or if people are to appreciate your ideological values. So in that regard, today, language has a lesser role within the Dravidian movement as such, as an emotive symbol. But the interesting thing is, at the national level, Ritangshu, there is still a very, very pertinent debate happening about not just language, but identity in the sense of Hindu versus minorities and people of different cultural orientations across the very pluralistic Indian states. And there is a sense that there is, whether the BJP or other parties, there are movements trying to foist a single identity versus what Mr. Dharanidharan and others said about respecting pluralism and allowing the true idea of India to flourish as a plural nation. So within that rubric, language continues to have salience. You cannot divorce language from its political context. I think that is what the debate, if at all it got carried away from the main point, it was because we went away from the main point of political salience. There is a very strong political and identity debate happening in India, and language fits in that regard. But as you said, there are often times when it goes to an extreme, and people will always bring the debate back to the real points that matter to the people of each state.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Language is a form of identity. but it can't be the only defining aspect of identity. It cannot be overemphasized and brought into spaces where it probably does not
Still,
exist
my
in some
questions
of
were not
people's homes, for
answered
that
by
matter.
DMK.
Dr.
I am
Narayan
waiting.
Lakshman?
No, Ritangshu, I think one point
Well,
I would like to make.
Mr. Satyan, unfortunately, I've
both
tried to
the-
give as much time to all
Yeah,
spokespersons.
yeah, yeah.
If questions
What
are
question?
not answered, maybe
Yes.
that speaks volumes by itself at this point.
Ritangshu,
Dr. Narayan
No, I
Lakshman,
can-
Bhavai Satyan,
I can
Salem Dharanidharan, and also GS Prashant, thank you so much for joining us. I do not want to cut short any by speakers, but there's a limited time. One should finish their point within the time given.